This post is going to be all about the 3 days of darkness that you're seeing all over YouTube right now and probably everywhere else you consume content. Now, personally, I've been trying to avoid this content because I don't really like prophecy messages. I don't really usually do messages like this because I find it a little too doom and gloom and fearful. I also think there's this thing of like, if we all consume the same content over and over again, and keep it in our minds, we can actually manifest that reality just based on the way that we use our brains and the way that the projection fields work. The more you talk about something, the more you think about something, the more it's likely to happen. But even I have to admit that the energy has been a little weird and a little, I will call it fidgety. And because it's been so fidgety, I wasn't even going to do a video this week. And I've been redoing my website. I restarted this new YouTube and I'm organizing and getting everything ready. But I finally moved my body today and a download came in like a rush. So I'm going to share with you the knowledge that I got about this projection. And before I do, I'm going to say there's no hate to any other light worker. It's almost like we all, are looking at the same big giant energy source and then filtering it through our experiences and our perception and sharing the parts that we get. But we're all trying to just eat the elephant and each of us can only do a little bit at a time. And all of us are working on different parts of the elephant. So knowledge is power. And I feel like the more information you have, it's going to help you and make you feel more confident about what to do going forward. Okay, so first thing that I got is if you're seeing something like nothing is going to happen on a collective timeline where we all experience, look at, see the same thing. There's not going to be chaos and destruction, okay? If you're listening to this on the podcast and not watching the YouTube, I have an image here. And this is the download that I got. So imagine this giant bubble being the collective energy field, the waves being like solar flare blasts. There's just a giant chunk of energy coming at us. The bubbles inside of the circle are each of us. So while collectively we all get the blast of energy, through our perception, we experience that energy completely different. And there's a number of reasons for that. One, imagine evolution is like a ladder, like the DNA ladder. And while I'm getting like the whole ladder is shaking, how we experience it is going to be different based on where we are on that ladder. Now we're all on a ladder. There's no hierarchy here, but where we are evolution wise might be different than someone else. So what we experience isn't going to be what someone else's experiences. Two, this idea that because we are currently in our timeline so divisive in nature, our perspectives are so much more singular. And you will know how things are going in the timeline regarding expansion when we start all experiencing the same thing at the same time. It's because our resonance are all on the same level. But right now, the bubble here might be Jenny and her experience might be her favorite uncle dying and she goes through 3 days of grief. Somebody over here, let's say Bob, his might be he lost his glasses and he's kerfuffled for 3 days. Somebody else over here might experience it as, going through something with their pets, while somebody else might be going through something in their relationship. I personally have decided to spend this tense energy time to quit smoking, and I have felt this tense resonance. So we're all going through our own experience collectively. Second thing I got is that darkness doesn't mean bad. If you think of it, all light comes from darkness, okay? It's just potential energy. How you use the energy is your free will. You can make it negative, you can make it positive. This might feel negative for me right now, but I know that overall it's a positive experience for me to have to go through this, right? It's all in your mindset. But don't think of it as being something bad is bound to happen, because then that's what you will experience. I'm getting this idea that if you imagine two things. One, we're all like, this body is like a machine, okay? You're not your body. it's almost like it's going through an upgrade. And I would even say like almost like a software upgrade on a computer. It's going to be a little bit weird as the upgrade is happening. How you experience it is up to you, but it's also kind of waiting for you. So if you are having a negative experience, that doesn't mean that something good can't come from it later. It's just how you're going to go through it. Choose to go through it a little bit more lightly. And I'm telling myself this as well. You will experience the lightness of it. Now, the crazy part about this is it really comes down to Pluto. This is got a lot to do with Pluto being in retrograde, going forward on the 25th, and then moving out of Capricorn. So I think I told you this last time. When planets are at 0 degrees and 29 degrees, they're at their most extreme, okay? And if you think of each house in astrology as being a bubble, and so you've got, like, for me, Pluto is in the 6th house, which is my daily habits, my health, what I do on a day-to-day basis, right? Which is why it's so crazy that I'm quitting smoking when it's at 29 degrees. But like, think of these two bubbles. Let's say, so this is 6th house, 7th house. They're kind of like connected here. So Pluto is like right in this center point. And with it being in this center point, it is a really extreme energy. That light was so intense. Sorry, I had to close the blinds. Okay, so I will have a Pluto transit report about it going forward next week. I'm still working on it, and I will have how it will affect you or is affecting you house by house. So subscribe to be sure that you don't miss that content. Next thing you need to know is that 3 days isn't real, okay? Time isn't real, and energy and our guides, they don't really talk to us about days, all right? What do I mean when I say that? Think of the number 3 not as a day-to-day marker, but Mother, Father, Son, Holy Trinity, Trine, concepts like that. So it's alchemizing on different levels of our reality. It's not, there never is going to be a time where time and days are taken into account in this scenario. It just doesn't work like that. Especially if, for instance, you resist the energy, then you will extend the energy. It doesn't really, there is no day-to-day marker. I would consider that number 3 about something a little bit more esoteric. Look into numerology around the number 3. Now, because this transit is in Pluto is happening from Capricorn to Aquarius. This is funny. This is the last message that I have. Think of it as being, if you were climbing Mount Everest, you can see the peak, but this is the hardest part of the climb, okay? And it's funny. So I've just became an affiliate for Shilajit, so you'll be hearing a lot more about that soon. But as I got that download, Shilajit is all about, it was originally created for altitude sickness. And then I saw a little mountain and I just started laughing. So Capricorn is an earth sign. It's all about that mountain climb, that mountain goat, okay? You're at the last part of the climb. That's why it feels so hard. If you're feeling tension, that's where the tension is coming from, okay? It is not going to feel the same way when it gets to Aquarius, because it's almost like you get to the top and like a kite, it kind of is just like electric energy. It's just going to feel a lot different. But there will be a lot of changes and things like that, which we will cover with the Pluto transit report. So think of this, and I'm going to use this for the next few days as I get through this time. Think of this as your last climb, your last push. Talk to yourself like it's your last push, no matter what you're going through. I know it's going to be something very individual to you, especially with the full moon that happened in Aries, being all about the I am. This is very personal for you, and something you're doing for yourself, or whatever you're going through is going to be an uplifting of the self. Okay. One more thing. I'm getting that as that energy comes into our life force and our bodies, you will feel it the most intense around what they're calling weak points. So areas in the body where you might need to do work. So for me, I'm feeling it a lot really right here. That's where my anxiety is, okay? Which is why it was so funny when I was doing my movements today. I recognized they were saying, move that energy around your whole body. It won't feel so tense and tight. You'll be able to alchemize it. The point is to alchemize the energy. So you take it and you turn it into gold. So the first thing you want to do is, if you're noticing tension at any point in your body, do some body movements, do some vocal movements, do some chakra clearing, anything that is going to allow that energy to not be stuck in one place, but have it smooth out over your entire body, and it won't feel so tense or tight or dire, I will say. And that is all that I have for this reading. This is all that I have. Okay. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day. You will be hearing from me next week. I'm very excited for this new website launch. I have obviously changed everything within my business in the last year, but everything keeps shifting and changing and moving. And I know that's Uranus and Taurus and all of that's going on. But there's going to be a great giveaway if you sign up for the newsletter. I'm going to have excellent content and just new ways to reach you from an elevated place. And I've split my skincare company from the spiritual stuff. So there are 2 websites, 2 YouTubes, 2 podcasts, 2 blogs, 2 everything, so that I can kind of streamline content in both directions. So I will tell you, the next podcast of mine for Luludi is going to be about holistic health, raising your frequency through what you eat, shining from the inside, based on my skincare and things like that. That podcast is launching November 1st. I will have a link there when it's time. And then this website will launch probably November 1st. So everything is kind of being cleaned up so that I can reach you in a more cohesive manner. Other than that, have a fabulous day. I hope this cleared some things up for you and you feel more confident going forward on your climb. I will see you when Pluto goes forward.